Library of Reuse. Terracotta stones. The terracotta stones came from the cellar of a building at the Zurich Trade School. The stones were laid in a bed of lime and sand so that we could lift them out with a crowbar. Nevertheless, about half of the stones were worn out. The ones that were still whole had a lot of sand and lime stuck to them, which we scraped off in the cellar. In the process, we realized the value of the stones, because many different colors and degrees of sintering were revealed. After the high-pressure cleaning, the diversity of the stones with their different colorings became even more apparent. The stones were pressed by hand into a mold about 150 years ago and probably fired in a ring kiln. In this kiln, the firing temperature varies depending on the position of the stone, so that they lose different amounts of water and thus develop differently in color, surface, size, and shape. Most probably, this happened in Vidikon, where the clay from the Binz pit was processed. The last clay was quarried in Vidikon in 1975. The terracotta stones were laid in the covered outdoor space, so that they frame the central patio like the roof. In order for the terracotta stones to fit between the foundations and the paving stones all around, without leaving large gaps, we dug in a row of terracotta stones around the foundations and at the edges, standing on the narrow edges. In this way, the constraints of previous decisions resulted in a detail that is not only aesthetically pleasing, but also provides additional stability to the ground towards the patio. The terracotta stones were laid in a bed of sand without lime, so that no more stones would break when the floor was rebuilt. With fine sand, which was obtained from the excavation of the foundations, the different sizes and thicknesses of the terracotta stones could be evened out well before the stones were tamped down with a rubber mallet. In the sandbed, the forces are evenly transferred to the subsoil, so that the stones do not break even under heavy loads. Cords were stretched to align the joints exactly, and the height of the stones was checked with a laser. When all the stones were laid, the joints were sanded out so that the stones would sit firmly. The terracotta stones have brought us the realization that when reusing them, one can come across materials that are no longer produced in this way today, and thus acquire a unique value. In this way, the reuse of such materials and components can be understood as an act of monument preservation, in which a piece of craft history is carried forward. Library of Reuse is a collection of media about pioneers, projects, and products fostering reuse. For more information about pioneers, projects, and products fostering reuse, visit library-of-reuse.ch.